Hello everybody, it's basically winter here, and just figured I'd give you all a quick look around at what's still alive in my greenhouse and what's not, because I was testing a few different plants to see how they do with the cold, and I found some things are, happy enough with fall but not necessarily with winter. Please forgive the mess. As always, I've got a million things on the go and about none of them getting done. So let's take a look around and I'll tell you what I've got planned for the next few days. So those tree cuttings that I took, no real signs of any life, but I guess come spring I'll know for sure. The green onions, on the other hand, are doing surprisingly well. Not so sure about that poor key lime beside it. Pretty sure it's dead this year. All of these pepper plants that I'm trying to overwinter, I think the greenhouse just plain got too cold. And the ones that did get moved downstairs, as always, I forgot to water them, so they're looking pretty dead too. We'll see what happens in the spring. Here we are looking at the aquaponics though, and you can see, once again, this is 2 years in a row that I've wintered with lemon balm, and it's doing quite well with the stuff that is on the surface. I did have a lot of longer tendrils coming off of here, but I had to cut those off because with the air temperature being so much colder than the water temperature, they basically just browned and died. Now this rosemary doesn't look like it's doing too great, but you'll see why in a minute. It's actually doing quite well. So is the little one I've got on the side of it there. Sage. Do you like sage? Look at that. I love this tricolor sage in the wintertime because that pink and the purple and the leaves just comes out so much more distinctly. It's really quite wonderful, and you get a much better sense for why they call it tricolor sage. Going on here, this is still kind of a mess for me making the ice sled into a grow bed, but got my Folgers cans submerged so they can be watered from the bottom now. Where they used to drain, they now fill. We've got some kale clippings here that, hopefully they'll root. I've never tried to root kale cuttings to begin with, and it's awful cold. But the kale plant was doing quite well in the cold, so I figured I'd give it a try. Got some catmint cuttings that I'm doing here, and those are some of the greener bits of what I had to cut off the lemon balm because I couldn't throw it in the compost. It looked too healthy. Got some leeks going here for as soon as it gets warm out, I can put those out. Over here in the new sled bed, so there's a reason my rosemary is looking kind of scraggly. Most of it has been cut off to make new plants in the new bed. I'm very hopeful for those come spring. The catmint, much like the lemon balm, doing very well with the stuff that's close to the bed, but again, I had a whole lot of hanging plant matter that had to be cut off because it just got too cold. This here is that little tiny piece of broccoli that I cut off of the plant that was dying outside and decided I'd throw in the bed and see what happens. It's pretty sturdy and it's been in here for a while, so I'm thinking it's growing. We'll see what comes of that as the winter gets more advanced. This towering thing here, again, doesn't look so great, but this is my kale, and I took all of those little ones off the stem. Like you can see that one there. Basically I just cut it right at the stem and plunked it in, and I'm hoping for the best. My kohlrabi, not doing so well. This is okay with, spring temperatures, okay with fall temperatures. We had a week of like -5 in the greenhouse. It was not okay with that. I had to cut off all the bottom leaves, and it sort of looks like maybe it's coming back now, but the discoloration's pretty intense on that. Don't know if I'll be eating that or just kind of letting it go as a garden project. Speaking of garden and greenhouse projects, I figured I should let everybody know that I'm going to be switching my fish out of where they are right now and building a new enclosure for them. Not necessarily something I want to be doing 2 days away from the start of winter, but I don't really have a lot of choice. I'll show you where the fish are at, and I'll kind of explain to you why. So, some of you who have followed my channel for a while are familiar with my happy little feeder goldfish, Blue. I love that fish. So remarkable compared to his compatriots. Anyway, you're familiar with the goldfish and probably the Rubbermaid tote that they live in. I've been doing it like this to avoid using well, 2 water tanks, really. Because initially I wanted to keep it as cheap as I could, and keeping the fish in the sump tank seemed to work just fine. Until you have some unexpected accident, like I did the other day. You may notice that the newspaper that I put down for insulation on my greenhouse floor is soaked. Very good reason for that. When I built this bed, I gave it a standpipe and a constant drain, and that's all working quite well, but I like to take these lightweight plant covers and just kind of plunk it on top so nothing falls in there that's going to get caught in the drain, right? Seems like a good idea until it slips all the way down, closes the drain, and pours all of your water out of these nice little divots at the end. So even without the divot, it would have happened sooner or later with the drain getting closed off like that. But I got icicles forming all the way down, and as you can see now, like I said, my newspaper flooring is soaked. So this stuff will end up on the compost, and I'll try again, but not until I'm done rearranging. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these guys and build them a new home. So when this overflowed, since my fish are ultimately in the sump tank, it pumped all the water out that it could almost to the bottom of the fish tank. And my poor fish were swimming around with, well, some of them, their fins were sticking out of the water and there was nothing they could do about it. I don't want to put them through that again. So I'll be setting up a fish tank off to the side that, well, that's just not going to happen to. So it's very similar to my dual tote fish tank that I built quite a while ago, except this is going to give the fish a lot more room. If you're interested, you can check that video out. Alright folks, well, it may be a greenhouse, but it's still pretty darn cold in here, and I'm done in here for the day. But I will definitely get something up showing you what I'm doing for the new fish tank and how I'm plumbing it so that I don't really have to make too many changes to be able to keep my fish nice and safe.